to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back. Once again, we are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And I just listened to that intro, and part of me is thinking I need to make like gobble like a turkey or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
I got a turkey call somewhere I can.
I was prepping for it. Did you see that? Okay, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Bathroom Paul is joining me this evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Doing really good. Really good. Enjoying my Saturday.
Good. It was cold today.
It was.
I actually had a class today at 1:00.
That's what you were saying.
And it was a lady. She's pretty new to shooting. She came about a year ago, and she came in December last year when it was really cold too. And I always text in the mornings. Maybe. Well, I want to let people know. I don't want to cancel, but I always text them if it's cold, if it's miserable, because I went to Buell and there was no wind.
Yeah.
I came out here and it was blowing. Back here it's blowing like 20 miles an hour, and it's probably like 34 degrees. And so I texted because it's a Saturday.
Yep.
She was due here at 1, and I was like, if she's not going to come, I want to know now. Right, I'm going to give her the option to opt out now so I can continue on with my afternoon. There's nothing worse than preparing for a class, and then I come out here, I turn the heat on, I get everything ready, and then 20 minutes for class they call, and they're like, well, it's cold, I'm not going to make it. I'm like, I just wasted my whole freaking afternoon.
Yep, could have been doing other stuff.
Yeah, and so she was really determined, though, because I texted, she goes, no, I'm coming. I'll just dress warm. I went, wow, I wish everyone would say
She's
that.
a little hardcore.
She was, and she's super excited. She signed up for the women's class as well, but
oh, nice.
She had a 380 EZ that she had bought since she had never shot it. She shot mine last class.
Okay.
And so she came out here and she put about 50 rounds through it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she spent some time out there, and kudos for her because it was a year ago. And I said, let's just see where you're at. We're going to go over safety again. And I'll go over the specific fundamentals if I need to. But with an unloaded gun, let's stick around in the classroom. And you show me. Let's dry fire. Let's grip it. Man, perfect. She was dead on.
And she hadn't shot in a year.
She hadn't shot in a year. She remembered it all.
That's women for you.
Oh, my God. Just freaking impressive is what it was. So, yeah, no, we had a great time. And her gun, since it was brand new, now I'm just going to be like a PSA out for everyone, a public service announcement for everyone. If you bought a new gun and it's brand new and you're going up to shoot it now that it is winter out.
Fresh out of the box. Go ahead and just clean that thing now and re-oil it with some actual gun oil.
Yep. Because you can fire those right out of the box, right? No problem. Yep. Summer, spring, no problem. You get a little cold in them. The gun starts getting cold. The temps come down. Those things are going to be
that oil that they send them with is a lot thicker.
Well, it's for a preservative, right? Yeah. It's for preservative reasons.
Yep.
And so I was able to, before we went outside, I pulled her slide off and added a little hops number 9 to it.
Yep.
And put it on there. We didn't have a problem, but I hate that because people get super excited and then their gun starts jamming, and you know what it is, right? I've had full permit classes where I've had like 20 people in there and like 15 of them, their guns are just like jamming up, and they're new guns, and they're like, what the hell? I'm going to take this stupid piece of crap back and it's not working. I'm like, just calm down.
Yeah. Did you clean it first?
Yeah. Did you clean it first? I don't know how to clean my gun. I'm like, oh, well, here's my business card.
Yep.
Go ahead and we'll come back and we'll do a second lesson and we'll teach you how to clean your gun.
Yeah, I had to do that with Noah when he got his new one.
Oh, you got it all cleaned already?
Oh yeah. Well, the first thing we did, we got home, broke it down, showed him how to strip it down, clean it, put it back together. That way.
Nice.
That way he already knew it was freshly oiled, everything ready to go.
Now, does he have a gun cleaning kit?
He does. I bought him one.
Oh, I was going to say, because if you have it, then he's always going to come to you and make you clean it.
No, I bought him one. I made sure he had it. I said, there you go.
Is it an actual kit or do you get like a bore snake?
Nope, I bought him an actual kit with brushes and swabs and the whole thing, so he can clean whatever he buys.
So I've got a question for you. Maybe I'm going to throw this out here to all our listeners. Bore snakes. Okay. I get people that, and I've got a bore snake for my rifle. I think I got one for my 9mm too somewhere that I've never used.
Yep.
And so on bore snakes, and maybe I know I haven't been trained properly on them. So I have one. I used to take it out for my 270 when I went deer hunting. Get an obstruction in the barrel, you run that freaking bore snake through there, it clears it, right? Yep. I mean, it falls in the mud, the dirt, whatever. That's how I use the bore snake.
That's how I use it too.
Okay. But when these people go and they buy these brand new firearms, and a lot of them will say, well, I need they want to upsell, right? So the guys are like, well, you're going to need a cleaning kit, or they ask for a cleaning kit, and they sell them a freaking bore snake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so is a bore snake seriously, is it just for like, maybe it was a dusty, dirty condition, something you look down the barrel or some grit, just, because it's got those, the brass bristles.
Yep.
And you're just pulling it through to just kind of get the loose stuff out. It's not really for cleaning. It's not really freaking gun.
The way that I learned, it's not for cleaning. It's for field stuff. Like
real quick.
Yep. Like you said, if you drop it, you get some dirt in it.
Take some debris.
Yep. And that's how I've always used them, because with what you're doing, you're just barely touching the surface there.
Yeah. So a couple of times, people I get my gun cleaning kit out. No. They're like, I got one. I was like, okay, where is it? And they go, oh, here you go. And I'm like, oh my freaking hell, it's a bore snake. Great. That's fantastic. And then look, I don't say that to them. I'm thinking in my head this, and I'm like, just put that back in your bag. Let me show you how to clean your gun. What do you mean this isn't going to work? I said, well, let me show you what it does.
Yeah.
And I show them, I'm like, your best bet's to go spend another $12.99 and just buy an actual gun cleaning kit, because you gave me a bore snake. You don't have any oil there. You have no solvent there.
Yep.
How is it going to, it's not working.
Yeah. And I made sure he had the whole kit with brushes for, 9mm, 380, 40. I think it goes all the way up to, I think I even got him the one that has the stuff for shotguns and stuff like that too.
Oh, perfect. So you don't need to clean shotguns.
I don't clean hardly any of my guns. So
this is how bad I am. I had a 3-month women's academy going. I do a shorter one, and there's 2 women in it. The second one that I did, and one ladies couldn't make it, but it was the last night earlier this week. And on the last night, the lady's like, I got to know how to clean guns. I said, okay, we're just going to do it at the very end. So we'll clean your gun. You'll be good to go.
Yeah.
And you're looking at my hand. I talk with my hands a bunch, by the way. You're looking at
no, so do I.
I'm dancing with my. You're looking at my weird nail, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what caught my attention, was the weird nail.
It's coming off. It's close. Anyhow, so I sat down and I was showing this lady how to clean her gun, and she had a 9mm EZ.
Okay.
And I happened to have a 380 EZ, and I was like, okay. Usually, I'll just take their gun. I'll show them how to take it apart. And then I'll put it back together, and I'll have them take it apart and put it back together. And then I'll take it apart again, and then I'll walk them through the cleaning process. And I thought, well, they're essentially the same gun, different calibers. Yep. They come apart the same way. I'll just clean my 380 while I'm at it. I don't know if I've ever cleaned that 380 before. And so hers, she'd only been shooting, she's maybe shot 400 or 500 rounds. It really wasn't that dirty.
Yeah.
And so she cleans it, and I'm like, okay, now you need to put a little solvent on the patch and just go in there and, run it through a few times, right? To get everything kind of soaking. And then you're going to run the brush through there.
Yep.
And then you're going to go ahead and put a clean patch through there, and we'll look. And if we need to, we'll repeat everything again. And so she puts a little solvent on her patch. She runs it through there to get a little, and it comes back almost clean. Oh. I run mine through there, and she's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, yeah, mine's kind of dirty. And she's like, yeah, it is. So she runs her brush through hers, and I run my brush through mine. My brush comes black with chunks of shit on it, And then I run through the dry cloth, the clean patch, and I was like, she goes, how many times do I need to rub this in and out? And I was like, till it comes back pretty clean. Keep changing patches. She ran through 1.5 patches. Hers was done. I'm piling up patches like they're going. She's like, those are black. And I'm like, yep, it is.
I got to talking to Noah while we were cleaning his, and I was thinking about it. That first Canic that I bought, the one that I did the classes with and stuff.
Yeah.
It's got about 2,000 rounds through it now, and I haven't cleaned it.
Time to clean her.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, but
have you cleaned it ever?
I cleaned it when I bought it.
When you bought it.
When I bought it before I shot it, and since then, nothing.
Yeah, and so. And yeah, you should clean it. It's probably kind of dirty.
Oh, it's really dirty.
So we moved on from the barrel. Okay, we'd clean out the inside of the barrel. And then I was like, okay, the feed ramp, yours isn't quite polished up yet because you haven't run enough rounds through, you know, where's the paint off, you know, the coating a little bit. I said, so just need to put a little solvent on your patch. And I grabbed it and put some on my, she goes, with your bare hands? I'm like, I don't have whatever. Wear some gloves if you want. She was really cool, you know. And I start wiping mine down, and mine's just coming back filthy. And she's like, do I need to clean? I said, yeah, just put your finger on the feed ramp and rub it a little bit with that solvent-coated patch, and yours will polish right up. I'm doing mine. It feels like a freaking gravel road. And she's watching me, and she's just bewildered. She goes, how come mine's not that dirty? I'm like, because I don't do my job right. Yeah. I pull out my pocket knife, and I'm scraping. I'm not kidding. I'm scraping carbon off this thing. It looks like a gravel road. So we got that part clean. And then I'm explaining where you don't want to put oil here. You don't want to put oil there. When you're on the frame, I always put a little bit of solvent on my patch and just kind of wipe everything down. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't want to just dump it in there.
Yep.
And I clean a little differently than a lot of people, I think. And mine just keep coming back filthy. So I did that. I did the inside of the slide, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm telling them, now there's these little tracks here. The little tracks where the slide rides on the frame. I said, I've got some of those pointy Q-tips, right? They're gun cleaning Q-tips.
Yep.
And I said, you can use makeup Q-tips. I said, now put a little solvent on there, and you can clean those out. You want to make sure it's smooth. It's going to help your gun, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so she does it on hers. It comes back a little gray. And meanwhile, I'm just great.
And you can hear it grinding.
And I'm going Q-tip after Q-tip after Q-tip. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she's just bewildered how dirty my gun is. And I get done, and I'm like, good enough. She's like, well, you're not it's still coming back. You told me you were just going to keep doing it till it was clean. I said, I'll be here all freaking night.
Yeah, so I'll be here a month cleaning that thing.
And so she thought I got it kind of clean, you know. And she's like, okay, where do I oil? We talked about where we oil. And I said, now I always drop a little bit of oil in. She's got such a nice kit. Mine is like from the 1950s, and it's just horrible. I got one of the oil bottles. It's got a hole in the size of a freaking dime, and I'm trying to drop a little bit of oil, and it's running everywhere. She's got one of the oil containers that have that little tiny
the little
syringe-looking tube on it, right? And I put a little oil in there, and I was like, you take your Q-tip, and she's laughing at me because I got freaking oil everywhere. She's like, you use a lot of solvent too. I said, no, I've tipped that bucket over a couple times. And she's got her Q-tip, and she's rubbing the oil. You know, like I said, spread that little drop around.
Yep.
That's all you need. And hers is perfect, right? I'm pushing the oil with my Q-tip in mine, and it's coming back black. She's like, you're not done cleaning it. And I'm like, it'll work.
It's way better than what it was. We'll be good.
Oh my gosh. I was kind of embarrassed. I mean, she goes, how do you clean yours? They're so dirty. I was like, I honestly need to probably just throw them in a tub and let them soak in some CLP for 3 days.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just a freaking mess. She's like, well, there's a little discoloration on the face. I'm like, yeah, that's not coming off.
Yeah.
I got it. She goes, how come you have razor blades in your kit? Because I need them.
Because we're gonna have to cut through this and shave it here.
I gotta scrape freaking crap off.
Yeah.
I mean, when the carbon comes off Todd's barrels on his guns, it's like one soak, get some carbon off, soak them. They come off in layers.
Oh man,
it's like, I swear, it's like a layer for every time I've shot it.
Mine aren't quite that bad.
Oh, mine are freaking horrific, dude. They are so absolutely horrible. But I don't know. She knows how to clean a gun now.
Clean a clean gun.
Oh my God. Yeah, a clean gun. She goes, well, how often do I need to clean a gun? I said, well, more than I clean mine. I told her, and how often, I mean, so here's the thing. You hear the right answer would be clean a gun every time you shoot. Every time you shoot it. Okay, so what's the real answer? If you're depending on that gun to and this is a do as I say, not as I do thing. If you're depending on that gun, it's your carry gun, you're depending on that gun to save your life, right? To protect you, possibly.
Yeah.
Should you clean it every time you shoot it?
Probably.
In a perfect world, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark's going to listen to this, and he's going to be just shaking his head because this dude I think he cleans them with his blindfolded or something. But so So in a true world, if it's just like a safe queen, you just pull it out. Is every 400 or 500 rounds a good number?
I'm for my carry gun. I'm quarterly. For my other stuff, probably.
Quarterly?
Yeah.
God, you baby that thing.
Every 6 months, maybe.
You baby that thing quarterly.
Well, that's I work in a dirty environment though, so I'm in a lot of dirt and concrete and cement and stuff. So
That's true.
I want to make sure that it cycles. And
That's true. And your boss is cool with that?
yeah,
Sweet.
Yeah.
I know your boss.
Do you?
I haven't. He graduated a year ahead of me.
Charles?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
His dad is my mechanic,
Oh, okay. Yep.
or one of my mechanics.
Yeah.
So, yeah, small world.
Yeah. He actually just bought a carry pistol here himself not too long ago.
Did he? Well, you need to tell me he needs to take a freaking class.
That's what I told him. I said he should call you because he's not a pistol guy. He's a shotgun rifle guy.
Yeah. You need to talk to him about his badass Bronco too.
Oh, really? I didn't know he had a badass
Oh,
Bronco.
it's got a freaking Cobra jet motor in it.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find out.
It's a yellow. It's bright yellow. He's in the middle of redoing it again. Oh man, it's way too much information about your boss, huh?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, hit him up. He'll tell you about it. So anyhow, so that was my gun cleaning adventure. But as we are getting colder, I'm thinking I have to go buy some more solvents and stuff because it's about time that I go hog wild in here and just like clean guns.
Yeah, it'll take you 6 months.
Oh, almost. I have to. You know what I'll probably do is while I'm cleaning the guns, I'll probably finish out kicking out the second season of Tiger King.
I haven't even watched the first one.
Dude, you're missing out. You have to watch it. I'm telling you, it's just for no reason except for you just have to watch it.
Just some brain dead entertainment.
Oh my god!
Oh man,
so freaking funny. I'm telling you, you're missing out, man.
I might check it out because you're not the only person that has told me that.
I mean, I was season 2 came out like, oh, I gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. I know that she fed her husband to the freaking tigers. You've got to watch it.
I'll put it on my to-do list.
You got to watch it so you can learn all about that bitch Carol Baskin.
So I can understand all the memes that are going around that went around forever.
Exactly. Oh man, it's great. Speaking of cleaning guns, I probably need to get my deer rifle out and clean it since I didn't use it this year. It is an older rifle and it's a pretty sentimental rifle, and I probably should clean it. But anyhow, what else? Oh, big news.
Big news.
Big
news.
Big news. For me, it's big news.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw this video come out, I sent out to everyone I knew. Mm-hmm. And there a few people responded, but you're one of the. I was thinking about you.
Yes.
So Smith & Wesson just announced.
Yes, my mouth is watering already.
Yes. Their M&P 2.0 version of a 10 millimeter.
10 millimeter.
Oh, I don't know why I want a 10 millimeter so bad. Now, I really think that HK needs to come out with their VP10.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
That would be freaking sweet.
That'd be nice.
Be a fan.
Yeah.
But, we've been talking about 10 millimeter on this podcast for a long time. And it's a decent round. It's good for, carrying in the woods. It can be good for self-defense. It's kind of a weird mix between a 40 and a 45. And I've wanted one, and I've watched them. Now Glock makes one. Is it the 22?
Yes, the 22.
Yeah, okay, the G22.
Yep.
And I know that there is a listener to the podcast, Josh. He really loves his G22. Someone will correct me. I'm sure if I'm wrong, I'll hear about it.
Oh, yeah.
He really loves his G22. And then the latest, besides the Smith & Wesson, came out a couple years ago, was the Springfield Armory 10 millimeter, which is a nice gun. I've never shot the Glock, but unfortunately, in my mind, a Glock is a Glock is a Glock. They're all going to have the same crappy trigger.
Yep.
Sorry, Josh, crappy trigger. I'm not willing to deal with it. But you have the Springfield Armory, which was a good shooter. I've shot it a few times. In fact, my buddy Levi, he's got one with like a Delta Point red dot on it.
Oh,
and
he did it all up.
Yeah, he took it up to Alaska when he was fishing, right, for bears, just in case. And he wore it right there on his chest, and like one of those like the Kenai holsters or whatever. Yeah. And it's a slick gun. It really is. It shoots really well. It's nice to shoot. But I've got, and that's in their XDM model. And I've got an XDM 9, and I really like it. But I've kind of ventured away from the grip safety.
Yeah.
And that's just me, right? I know that 9mm XDM was a great shooter. That grip safety, it's never given me any problems, but if I get tangled up in a situation, I may not have a perfect grip on my gun. I mean, you never know, right? And I don't want to have to worry about a grip safety.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I'm with you on that one.
And I liked shooting the XDM and the 10 mil. They're a little thicker. They're a little more bulky, right? Not horrible, but it is what it is. But now, and I was considering one of those for a long time, but now,
Yes.
I really like my M&P 2.0.
Yes.
I absolutely love that gun. It's a good gun, and now they're coming out with it in the 10. I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, and all the videos I've seen of it is everybody says the same thing about it. It's a nice gun.
The only thing that I have, so it comes in two different, like a 4-inch barrel,
and a 4 1/4,
and
I think.
a 4 1/4 inch barrel. So I'd get, there's not that much difference anyway, but and it comes with suppressor height sights.
Yep.
Okay. And it's cut for a red dot.
Yep.
The suppressor height sights that it comes with is actually pretty cool, because if you go and buy those, you're looking at $200 to $300 easy. And so that's nice, right?
Yep.
I think it holds, I don't even know how many rounds it holds.
It was 15 plus 1, I think.
Yeah. And I don't know. It has a trigger on it. It's a different trigger.
Yes.
So they have, what they say, they have like 4 types of triggers.
5 types of triggers, I think, for the shields now, right?
Or for the whatever, the M&Ps.
Yeah.
And they said the one guy wasn't super impressed with the trigger. He said it was okay, but he said that the reset was really hard to find. So we'll have to check that out.
He said he was saying that it doesn't have that audible reset, so it's hard to feel
and
it.
You need an audible reset.
Yes.
You need something,
Yes.
right? So I'll be interested in checking that out. He really liked the trigger in the Shield Plus, which we're going to talk about, because you actually have experience on one of those a little bit, right?
Yes.
And so we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I've never really bought a gun. Honestly, people think that I just have freaking firearms everywhere, and I really don't. Do I have
Not really.
I don't.
I think I have more firearms than you do.
Yeah, I really don't. I buy them because I need them, right? That's the only reason I buy them. It's for a class, or it's for carry, or it's whatever. I have a specific whatever.
Specific need.
I just kind of want this gun.
Yeah.
I just want this gun because I want this gun. I don't really have a reason.
Yep.
And I will say that I've kind of put in an order for one. And when it shows up, it's going to be mine.
It's going to be under the Christmas tree.
No, it's not. It's going to it's going to be mine. People are like, well, what about ammo? I don't really care about ammo right now. I'll get the freaking
So 10 millimeters is actually pretty easy to find right now. Everywhere I go has it. Everywhere I go has a 10 millimeter
now,
ammo.
what is 50 rounds of 10 millimeter cost? That's what, $40?
I think it's about $40.
Good Lord.
But everybody has it.
But it's not one of those guns that I would need, 4,000 rounds for either, right?
Exactly.
It would be one you have 300-400 rounds to shoot. You get to know it. You buy it as you need it.
Yep.
Buy some defense loads, and when I'm up in the mountains doing whatever, I carry my 10 mil loaded up with my I forget what they said. A lot of people use buffalo bore type stuff, but like solid cast or something.
Yep.
But so it's not like I'd have to have a ton of ammo for it.
No, not at all.
This fly is driving me nuts. But anyhow, I tell you what, people might be asking, because if you know me, you know that I'm not a huge fan of the 40 cal.
Yep.
I can shoot it, but I'm not a fan, and I don't have any 45. That's just because that's me. And they're going to like, well, 10 millimeters is more snappy and stuff than the 40 cal is what people say. So why do you like it? Right? They're going to ask me. I just like it. Okay.
Yep.
But I found a little history. I stole off of one of these videos.
Okay.
I stole some of the history. They talk about the progression up from like 9 to 40 to 10, and then kind of the progression of it all. And so I'm going to go ahead and play that, and we'll let everyone take a listen to that.
First, why even 10 millimeter? Well, 10 millimeter was spearheaded by firearms legend Jeff Cooper in the 1980s as a personal defense round superior to 9mm or 45 ACP. The caliber initially came into popularity as a solution to 9 millimeter being considered underpowered as a result of the 1986 Miami FBI shootout, where 2 armed robbers killed or wounded 7 responding FBI agents who were primarily carrying 9mm handguns and 38 cal revolvers. 10 millimeter was adopted in the aftermath, with the FBI selecting the Smith & Wesson 1076 as the handgun of choice moving forward for the agency. But as usual, women deliberately screwed everything up as female agents had a difficult time controlling the recoil of the 10 millimeter. Well, so did manlets too. But 10 mil was simply shortened, weakened, and the 40 S&W, or the 40 short and weak, was born. As with any good compromise, no one was happy. Well, except for Gaston Glock, who landed a massive deal with the FBI for Glock 22s and Glock 23s and 40. I've seen the original letter from the FBI purchasing the Glock 22 and 23, as my good buddy Gaston has it hanging in his U.S. office. As we know, the FBI changed its tune in the 2000s, switching back to 9mm, primarily because of the advent of Plus P 9mm in the mid-90s, along with reliable semi-autos that could handle additional power of Plus P and Plus P plus 9mm. As technology advanced, so did the performance of the 9mm. Back in the 80s, there were only a couple of 10mm platforms, including the Bren 10. The Bren 10 of Miami Vice fame was manufactured by Darnus and Dixon Enterprises, a company that lasted about as long as your community college enrollment, going out of business after 3 years. The Smith & Wesson 1076 was still around, and it's a pretty damn good gun, and the Colt Delta Elite gave 1911 owners and enthusiasts a modern caliber in an obsolete dogshit platform.
A modern caliber in an obsolete dogshit platform. That was the phrase of the day right there, I'm telling you.
The Glock 20 came around in 1991 as well. So 10mm was down, but not out. A little bit like Apple computers. It went dormant. It never went fully extinct, but no one really expected it to blow up the way that it has. But why is that? First, the 10mm formula never went away to begin with. 40 S&W is a little bit like the 38 to the 10mm 357. You're still using a 40 cal bullet and a 40 cal barrel. Ironically, 40 S&W's usurping the 10mm led to 40's short-lived but widespread success, and so the genetics of the 10mm never went away. They got passed on. So in essence, you can take some 40 components, some 45 components, get them together, give them some Cavassier, leave them in a dirty hotel room, come back a little while later, and you'll have a 10mm handgun, more or less. Essentially, that's what Smith & Wesson's done here. And because the 10mm uses the same case diameter as the 40, you get the same capacity as 40, albeit it has to be in a 45 ACP sized handgun frame, robust enough to absorb the 10. But instead of, say, 10 rounds, like you get in the full-size M&P 45, you get a whopping 15 rounds of 10mm in the M&P 10. To put that into perspective, Buffalo Bore makes a 180 grain 10mm round that will blaze at 1,350 feet per second, generating 728 foot-pounds of energy, while a 185 grain 45 ACP is just a little bit more than 1,100 feet per second at about 540 foot-pounds of energy. That's a massive power disparity. Not to mention the 10mm only drops about half as much in terms of trajectory within 100 yards as 45 ACP. Better aerodynamics, better power, better capacity. By the numbers, if you're carrying an M&P 45 fully loaded with 11 rounds of 45 ACP, that's about 6,000 foot-pounds of total muzzle energy in your waistband. Replace that with the same gun in 10mm with 16 rounds of capacity, you have almost 12,000 foot-pounds of energy in that gun. That's about the same as one 50 cal round from a Barrett or a human baby fired from a Civil War era cannon. But anyways, the only babies that I want to talk about right now are these two new Smith & Wesson 10 mils.
And so, did you just lose your...
Yeah, I did.
You got them back?
No.
Unplug it and plug it back in. Back?
No.
Oh, you broke it.
I must have.
Okay, follow it up. A little technical difficulties. Follow it up to the board and wiggle something up here.
There it goes.
Okay. We good?
It was.
Top one.
There you go.
There you go. Whatever.
There you go.
It's all high quality equipment we got in
And
here.
it doesn't help with the guy with the big feet moving around over here either.
Yeah, quit stepping on my cords. So no, I mean, so there we go. We just talked about it. They're having two 10mm. You got the 4 1/4 and 4-inch barrel.
Yep.
And which one are you gonna get?
4 1/4.
Why do you want 4.25? What's that extra quarter going to do for you?
Yeah, well, I have an astigmatism, so that gives me that little bit longer sight picture, and
gotcha.
it does tend to help a little bit.
Gotcha. So I don't know what I'll get. Probably just get the 4, just because they're saying that the 4-inch is just about the same length and everything is like a G19.
Yep.
And so I'm good with that. We'll just go with it. I don't think I'm going to gain for someone with, maybe an eye issue that it would help. I don't think I'm going to gain much by having a little bit longer barrel.
And quite honestly, I'm not going to conceal carry that. It's going to be.
I might.
I might too. I shouldn't say I won't, but it's mostly going to be for like when I go hunting, because that's what I've always wanted the 10 millimeter for. Was when I go hunting, have my pistol with me just in case.
Right. So I'm. You could go out. I think in Idaho, you could go out and actually hunt your deer with that 10 mil.
Probably.
But anyhow, that's another whole nother episode. Now I'm excited. I don't know why I'm excited, but I'm gonna get this 10, and I think I'll put a red dot on it, but I'm not.
Oh, I know I will.
I don't know. I will. I'm not.
Yeah,
who am I?
Yeah, I was gonna say don't kid yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a red dot on it. We're gonna be as quick as we can. I'm probably gonna throw a holosun on it.
Yep.
And I don't know which one, but I'm gonna throw a holosun on there. One of the affordable ones.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like $300. That's what I'm looking to
But
spend.
those ones are nice.
They're
good.
It works on my VP9.
Yep.
I'm fine with it. I think I got the 507C or K or
K probably.
whatever it is, right?
Yep.
So anyhow, let's talk about your son.
My son.
Your son. So he came and took a class from me a while back.
Yep.
Concealed carry out of the blue.
Yep.
Took his permit class from me.
Yep.
And he just got a gun.
He did a couple weeks ago.
What did he get?
He bought the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus 9 millimeter.
Okay. And what made him choose that?
Because I talked him out of a Glock is really what it was.
You're a good dad.
No, he shot a few guns. He shot mine. He shot a few of yours. He went and shot with some of his buddies. And
I thought for sure he was going to get a 40.
I thought he was too.
And I was like crying inside.
Well, but he shot it really well that day.
He did.
For considering it was his first time out with the 40, he shot it really well.
Yeah.
But when he went out and shot, he realized that 9 millimeters a little more manageable, wasn't quite as big.
Sure.
And we just went through all the different things, and he knew what he liked in the way the trigger felt and things like that, because he'd shot multiple guns and stuff like that.
Had he shot a Shield Plus before?
He hadn't shot the Shield Plus before.
Okay.
He had shot the Shield, though. I think it was just the 2.0.
Okay, yeah.
And so he'd shot that one. And just after talking to stuff, we went down. We actually went and saw the Gunslinger.
Okay, sweet.
And that's who we bought it from, ended up buying it from. And we went through, and he picked up some different guns and, dry fired some right there in the shop. And
right.
kind of like, to see what he liked. And, because he knew about reset and, the wall and all that stuff.
Yes.
After playing with some of those, and I shouldn't say playing with them, but after going through and handling some of them,
sure,
that was the one that he decided he really liked.
Did he feel comfortable handling the guns?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, that's. I just always wonder how that goes.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He's got a little bit of experience.
Right. That's true.
I've tried to teach him over the years and stuff like that, and he didn't shoot a bunch up with me.
All he knew is it wasn't a Taurus, and he was okay with it.
Right. Exactly. I offered to give him the one that I had. I couldn't give it away.
Yeah, that'd be a tough sell. So the trigger on the Shield Plus, I'm not sure I've actually shot a Shield Plus. What's different about the trigger versus the 2.0? How does it?
It just has a little bit smoother. The reset doesn't feel quite as long on it, which
crisp.
It's nice and crisp. There's a definite wall there, and where it breaks over. The reset on it, like I said, is not real long. It's just a nice trigger.
Okay. And he's been carrying this okay now? I mean, maybe he doesn't. Maybe we don't need to talk about it, but I mean, I'm sure he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't care.
He's been carrying it okay, though?
He's been carrying it okay.
Feels comfortable?
Feels comfortable.
He learning he has to kind of dress around it a little bit?
Yeah. He was trying to appendix carry.
Okay, I was going to ask. How's that?
He doesn't like it because his job has him sitting down quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so he's like, it always kind of pokes in me, and I've got to move it around. He goes, when I get in the car, I've got to take the gun out, and and I'm like, dude, don't do that.
We'll just move the whole holster.
That's what I told him. I said, just move the whole holster. And I think he's actually he's started carrying more at like the 3-4 o'clock.
So that's fine, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. So we have to
Later on, when he gets a little more experience, we'll talk to him about if he doesn't want an appendix carry, he doesn't have to. We'll talk to him about a specific appendix carry holster.
Yes.
That would make all the difference in the world.
And I think so too. Something, with like that fancy $200 wedge you've got or whatever.
The one I cut half of it off.
Yeah.
And I still need to do a little more manufacturing on it because it needs to run a little bit more. Kind of not as comfortable as it used to be.
Yeah.
And I either need to run more, starve myself, or just carry back at 3 o'clock. I haven't decided yet. That's a personal decision.
Yeah. But he has a nice Kydex holster. One designed for the gun.
That's good.
And we made sure that he had a quality holster.
Has he tried to draw?
That I don't know. He hasn't done it with me. I don't know.
Okay.
And I told him if he does it with his buddies, make sure you're
Unloaded.
Yeah, just don't do it. Yeah.
Yes, that's something you want to. And he's interested in taking some more classes from me.
He is.
And we will get through that class he wants to take, and then we will dedicate some draw time.
Yep. And I think he'd like that.
Yeah, because he needs to learn how to draw.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
There is such a specific way to do that.
Yeah.
So, speaking of drawing a gun, did you see the post I put up on Facebook about it was the pictures of the different ways people carry a gun.
Oh yeah.
All the main arteries
yeah.
that are in your legs.
Yep.
And the guys that don't like appendix carry say, well, if I carry over here at 3 o'clock, I'm only going to shoot a hole through my butt or whatever. You're kidding yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So drawing, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and you guys can go back and find that post. The pictures are pretty cool.
They were really cool.
It doesn't matter how you carry your gun. Appendix, 3 o'clock, small the back, which I do not recommend for other reasons. But it doesn't matter where you carry your gun. You need to focus on holstering, drawing your firearm and reholstering. So many people, and that one of the pictures shows that so many people, what they do is when they reholster, they cant their gun in, and they end up pointing the gun at themselves.
Yep.
While they reholster, and it's not something that you want to do.
No.
Right? You do not want to do that. You do not want to put a bullet into you. So you should never be in a hurry to reholster. You need to focus on what you're doing at all times and know that I don't care where you carry. There's a good chance you shoot yourself while you're reholstering and you don't catch it. You're going to freaking bleed out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're going to bleed out. That's all there is to it. So we need to be very careful and thoughtful and focused on what we're doing.
Yep. And I actually forwarded those pictures on to a couple of my buddies that don't have Facebook. So that way.
That's good.
Look here, guys. This is, you talk about this, and this. This is what you've got there.
Oh, you know how many times in class I see people.
Yep.
And no one can see me here, right? But I've got a finger gun and I'm like pointing it like I'm stabbing it into my side. Yeah. I actually see them do this. They will stab it into their side and then they'll straighten it down, and then because they're looking for the holster. And they'll go like this, and then I'm like, good Lord, you just pointed that at your midsection.
Yeah, and if you got good hollow points in there.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Anyhow, it's a nightmare. Go back and check out that post. You can check it on, find it on the Patriot Defense Facebook page, and check that out. And a little bit of education there.
Yeah, it really was.
So Thanksgiving, we're going to bounce all over. So Thanksgiving coming up, what kind of plans you got? So are you eating a turkey? What are you doing? Do you need somewhere to go?
Well, I think I'm going to Nikki's house.
Okay, cool.
You know Nikki from the pack.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think either her house or Terry and Gabe's. But
okay, cool.
But I think first thing in the morning, I'm going to get up and do some pheasant hunting.
Go pheasant hunting.
I think I'm going to go pheasant hunting.
You go down to Niagara?
Yep. I usually it used to be duck hunting. The last few years it's been pheasant hunting.
Fire 3 times in rapid succession if you need something.
You got it.
Because you were just below my house.
Yep, I know.
Well, good luck to you on that. We got some family coming over, and I think my future son-in-law is going to smoke a turkey.
Oh, if he's any good, they're delicious.
Oh, he's pretty freaking good.
Then it'll be delicious.
And so I've talked about the need to maybe Todd can't appendix carry quite as well. It's feeling a little different. Well, the dude smoked some macaroni and cheese, homemade macaroni.
Love it.
So have you ever had that stuff?
Oh, I make it.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yep, I make it.
It's so bad for you though.
Because it's good.
So I eat little plant-based. I'm thinking I'm going to jump off plant-based for a day because I want some freaking smoked turkey.
Oh yeah, you should.
I want a big-ass smoked turkey leg.
It'll be worth it.
In fact, I've got 3 turkeys. I'm going to have them smoke one. I'm going to rip the legs off the other one and have them smoke those for me.
Yeah. If he knows how to do it, they're delicious.
He's pretty good at it.
Then yeah, do it.
So I'm looking forward to that.
You know, if you start eating meat again, though, you might not ever go back.
Oh yeah, I will. It's a running thing. I will.
I know.
I will. Trust me. I'm too fat as it is. So let's talk about everyone's. The thing everyone's talking about right now is what?
Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse. I've taken so much crap over this, right? Even after my last podcast, I had to delete some comments. I'm not going to engage, right? It's not the way I'm going to do it. I do it. I always mention it, right? It's not like I'm bragging. The radio show that I do, we talked about it 2 weeks ago, and we caught grief about it, me and the guy that do it. And we caught some more grief about it yesterday when we did it. I tell you what, it worked out the way I wanted it to. He was acquitted on all charges. Not guilty.
Yep.
Right? He's walking free, and that's good. And I think that's what needed to happen. Never in my discussion of it did I ever say that it was a bad shoot, that he shouldn't have fit. Never once did I say that.
Not at all.
He went to court because he shot 2 people. Well, he killed 2 people and shot another, right? Wounded another. So he shot 3 people. That's why he went to court. It was a case of what? Self-defense.
Self-defense.
And he had every right to defend himself, and he did so, and he did successfully, and and he's found not guilty, and that's what needed to happen.
It did.
I still focus on the fact that he should not have ever been there.
Not even close.
Not even close. And what happened had happened, right? But I'm going to tell you what. So there's a lot of those other people shouldn't have been there either.
Well, yeah. That argument can be made too.
He's a 17-year-old kid. He should not have been there. Whether he got there and he had the gun legally, which is what they say he did, and I'm not arguing any of that. It is what it is, what it is.
Yep.
But he should not have been there. Now that poor kid has to live the rest of his life knowing he's killed 2 people.
Yep.
And I think the person that asked him to help protect this lot or whatever he was doing, he shouldn't be criminally charged, but he needs to bear some of that weight too, because he just ruined this kid's life.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, can you come help protect my property?" To a 17-year-old kid.
To a 17-year-old kid.
17-year-old kid.
So what do you think now? Well, I always ask what you think, and I care what you think, but I'm going to tell you what I think. Well, maybe I better ask. Well, no, I'm going to. Okay, me first.
It's your show. You do what you want.
So I do have a problem right now. I really do have a problem, and this is what gets me in a little bit of trouble. Well, it gets me in quite a bit of trouble, actually, in the firearms community. That I see memes everywhere. People are making him to be this freaking hero.
Yep.
Right? They're making him out to be this hero, this poster child, this. I've seen memes as far as like equating him to God.
Yep. I've
seen memes saying, well, don't worry, Antifa, if you're going to have a riot, we're just going to send Kyle in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this kid's life is forever changed, right? I mean, they're having riots and everything right now in a lot of places because he was acquitted, not guilty, right? He's not going to be able to even live a normal life, honestly.
Yep.
And I think you're going to get some of these gun rights organizations. They're going to try to use him as this poster boy.
They absolutely will,
for the Second Amendment, and I think that's just going to hurt him. It's going to destroy his life. It really is. He's 17 years old. He's not a hero. He's not a godsend. He hasn't been sent here to fight the protesters and fight the Antifa and stuff like that. And people need to quit. He was a 17-year-old that shouldn't have been where he was at, and he freaking defended himself. He didn't show, and maybe he did. I don't know this. But, what we've learned in the court, he wasn't there to just go out there and fight protesters and kill people. Yeah. That's not why he was there. In fact, it was a bad decision he was even there. It was him and 4 or 5 of his whoever. I mean, 4 or 5 is a random number, right? A handful of people versus hundreds or thousands of protesters.
Yep.
I mean, that was just a bad decision all the way around. But I'm afraid that the fact that he was declared not guilty, which he should have been, I'm always going to put that out there, which he should have been. And now we have a whole bunch of people, not everyone. We got some people that were on edge anyway. They don't like the protests. They've got guns. They want to go and they want to go nuts. And I know, God, I'm sounding a little like the left, honestly, and when I say this, but I think that there's a handful of gun owners out there who are a little unhinged anyway that now are having some big circle jerk saying thinking next time there's a freaking protest, we're going to go there and we're going to shoot people and we're going to get away with it. And I think it's a dangerous precedent to set. And I think we're going to have to be careful because in a sense, we always talk about these protests. We always talk about go there. We want to be even killed, level-headed. Don't be that guy. Don't be baited into anything. And I think now, because we don't want to have one guy that's showing on the news, now I think there's a possibility, right, that we're closer to having those guys that are going to be on the freaking news because they're going to go in there and do something that they shouldn't do.
That's exactly what's going to happen. I think it's inevitable. And they're, and I think part of the reason why they're putting them up on this pedestal is because we don't see too many wins on our side. Right. We don't have a lot of wins on our side. So when you get something like this, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon and saying, this is a win for the 2A community. But I think it's going to come back to bite us in the butt.
It is a win for the 2A community, but it could be a win for the 2A community. He did good. He defended himself. And to a certain extent, we let him go that. But and you can't stop social media.
Nope.
You can't stop what people do, but they're working this up into
a frenzy.
Into a freaking frenzy.
Yeah.
And
but I'm with you. These people are going to go out there and they're going to be like, well, I can carry my AR. I'm not doing anything wrong. If you're going to come after me, and they're going to try and do the same thing. They're going to use it as an excuse.
And I know I'm sounding like the left, and I know I'm sounding like the liberal media. I honestly, I do. I know that. I know that's the way this is going to come off.
Yep.
I know it is.
But it needs to be said.
It needs to be said. It needs to be said. And frankly, just a little old me, excuse me, and my little podcast and my silly little radio show and even my Patriot Defense, which I love my business, right? I don't know. Maybe it'll run itself into the dirt because of what I say. But you know what? I have to be me.
Yep.
I need to be me. And if I'm not me, then why do I even have a podcast? Why do I even have my own business? Why do I have to hide myself? Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Why do I have to hide my feelings?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there it is. I'm going to throw it out there and see what kind of feedback I get. But I don't know.
There'll be hate mail no matter what. You know that.
Oh, there will be. So what do you? Let me ask you this. What do you think? Do you think he should go back and you think he should go after the media now?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not a Sue Happy person, but some of the stuff that was said about him and just some awful things. I mean, it clearly wasn't a thing about white supremacy. He shot white guys. It's not like he was a white supremacist out there shooting black people.
Right.
They just some of the awful things it said, and the news had the videotapes. They had a lot of that information, and they still reported false information on him.
Right.
I think that case we need to prove a point.
And I honestly, I think that he probably should be kind of silly not to. I mean, it's his choice. Is like how much media attention do you want now, right? I mean, he's already in it at this point.
Yep.
You might as well. You've already won. You probably because you already won that case, you're probably gonna win in the other one.
Oh yeah.
So you may need that money for security or something. I mean, who knows what your life's gonna be like after this? It's the feeding frenzy that is going to take place upon this kid.
Oh, absolutely.
From getting people wanting him on podcasts to him being a poster child and being held up at this. I mean, it's like whose booth do you think he's going to be at SHOT Show, right?
Oh yeah.
He's going to be passed around.
Oh yeah.
All over the place. But, like who's getting him? Is the NRA going to get him? I mean, who's going to get him, right? That's
whose AR was he carrying?
Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, that's probably where you see him.
Yeah, I mean, so I just think that's a bad move.
I do too.
I think that's a bad move, and I like Smith & Wesson products, and I'm not going to stop buying their products because of that. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's a.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
It could go either way, man.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, with all the things that were said about him, I mean, get your money. Because he's going to need it.
Oh yeah,
he's
and I think he
it.
should sue the media. But I mean, as far as like Smith and Wesson, like if they grab him and have him at the booth at SHOT Show, you're just whoring this kid out at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they're going to pay him.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But no, that's absolutely what they're doing. I mean, that's what they're in the business for.
I don't know.
It's just like using those gun bunnies in their videos.
Oh
And,
God, I hate that too.
yeah, that's the same thing.
Gonna think I'm
Same thing.
I just can't get. I get off.
I wish you
Facebook.
guys could see Todd's face right now. I wish you could see it.
Well, here's the thing: as I'm torn.
Yeah.
I'm torn.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to keep people happy, but I want to say this, but I believe in this, but I also believe in this.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is like internal turmoil for me. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
And I know there's people that are going to listen to this podcast and they're going to be like,
because I'm with you 100%. He never should have been there in the first place.
right.
There's a lot of stuff that led up to this, and he should have never been involved. And now we're taking this poor kid, like you said, and putting him on a pedestal, and his life is forever going to be, I don't want to say ruined, but it's going to be changed forever. That kid's going to have emotional problems for the rest of his life.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's not going to be good for him.
It's not.
I'm going to shut this down.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just going to shut it down because Todd's done. I've done enough damage to myself. I have a feeling anyway. But anything else we need to bring up besides Kyle Rittenhouse? I'm tired of that shit. Oh,
The Andrew Coffey.
Andrew
was that the one we were talking? Yeah.
Andrew Coffey out of Florida. So that was kind of went by the wayside a little bit, but he was having his trial this week as well.
Same day, the verdict came out the same day.
Yeah, verdict came out the same day. Granted, this guy had a little bit of a shady past. He was a felon. He had a firearm that he shouldn't have.
Yep.
But he was at home. He was sleeping. His girlfriend was there. And we kind of looked up a little information, right?
Yep.
And there was a no-knock warrant that was issued.
No-knock warrant.
And I don't know all the details. A no-knock warrant, they busted his door down. He heard the pounding of the door. He grabbed his gun, thought he was going to defend his girlfriend from whoever it is. In his mind, it was probably drug dealers.
Exactly.
And he shot and killed a member of the SWAT team.
Correct.
And they found him not guilty.
Not guilty. Self-defense.
Now, that's the case we kind of should be looking at. Granted, this guy was a criminal and he's going to be in trouble for having the firearm, but no-knock warrants. I believe that justice needs to happen, and we need to do what we can do to get the bad guys, but I don't believe in no-knock warrants.
No, me neither. Me neither. Because I sleep with a firearm by my bed. I hear somebody come busting in the door. Same thing.
Right. So that was an interesting case that we didn't hear much about.
Well, and you're not hearing much, and not to bring race into it, but it should be it should be on the forefront because he's a black man.
Yeah.
He's a black man, but it doesn't play to the media's narrative.
So why do it? So there's another one, and I don't know the name. I'd have to look it up, but it was in Georgia. Okay. There's another case going on, right? I think it's still going on. Where there was some like a site where some houses were going in, and there was a gentleman, I forget his name. He was a black gentleman, right? African American, and he liked to jog and run through there. And when you have new houses being built and they're just like framed up, sometimes people will just go in and look around, right? They aren't locked up. Sometimes there's no walls. Well, they got him on. There had been some stuff that had been stolen from there. Okay, they caught him on camera just looking around at the houses. Right, he was in his jogging clothes, his running clothes. He was just like looking at the new houses. They never got him on tape, on video, or anything. Captured him stealing anything. And they saw that, and a few days later, they saw him running through the neighborhood. He was in his shorts, his T-shirt. He was out for a run, much like things that I do, right? And there was two gentlemen. I think it was a son and his father, white guys. They were driving. They saw him. They ordered him to stop. He didn't. I think he saw that maybe he had a gun or something like that. Anyhow, they drove in front of him, jumped out, ran, and they tackled him. They drew the one guy drew his gun, and the guy who was running grabbed the gun, and I think he turned around and shot the other guy with it.
Shot the other guy with it, yep.
And now he's on trial.
Yep.
Right? You can't just you can't just draw your gun on someone.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And they're like, well,
Well, he took, he took his gun or whatever.
Well, if he would have just stopped and listened
it's
to him.
called self-preservation.
Yep.
If you point a gun at someone, they are going to do what?
Defend themselves.
They're going to defend themselves.
Hence the term self-defense.
So I don't have all the ins and outs of that case, so I won't get too much into it because I'll get corrected on that as well, which is fine. I need corrected. I get it, and I'll admit when I know I don't know the facts.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I know the facts, and they're wrong, and I love the correction. That's fine. But when I don't know the facts, I'm just going to stop before I start. I'll start making shit up.
Oh, yeah.
I won't. But
Yes, you will. No.
yeah. It's the same stuff I say when my wife says, well, where have you been all night? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
no, it's all good. But I think we'll go ahead and shut it down there for tonight. I want to thank everyone for listening. Now, I probably won't. Actually, this is probably the podcast before Thanksgiving. I don't think I'm going to get another one out before Thursday.
Yeah.
Unless I get bored. I don't know. I've got a lot to do. I just about broke one of these little memory cards. I got to quit playing with stuff. Anyhow, thanks for listening. I tell you, it is the holidays, and if you're looking to get your family something or a family member something for Christmas, you pick up their phone and you just subscribe. You can tell them it costs $50. I paid $50 to set you up a subscription to the Patriot Defense Podcast, but it's free, and they don't need to know that.
Yeah.
You grab their phone, put it on there. Download, it's good to go. That's all I'm asking.
And they won't be sorry either. They'll enjoy it.
They won't be sorry. Share it with your family, share it with your friends. And if you really want to help support the podcast, you can do that. But if you really want to help support the podcast in other ways, you can join Patreon.
Yep.
It's $5 a month, and you're going to get a couple of instructional videos. And whenever I feel ranty, you're going to get some instruction or some an extra podcast or two. I need to get those videos up this week. I've got them recorded. I just need to get them uploaded this week. If you sign up for that from now till the end of the year, you're going to get put in for a drawing for a Patriot level membership, lifetime membership, I believe, to Front Sight over in Pahrump, Nevada, and you go and take some of their classes for free. It's a pretty good gift.
It's a really good gift.
It's a $5,000 value.
I looked into it. It's a good deal.
It's a $5,000 value. So you sign up a family member, they have a chance to win.
There you go. That's a good idea.
That $5. Turn $5 into $5,000.
Yep.
That's a pretty good turnover.
And I believe it was you could transfer that to your children.
Yeah.
As a will it to them. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's one of those things you can keep transferring over, and so it's a pretty awesome gift, really.
Yeah, really good.
Pretty awesome prize.
Yeah.
So thanks you for listening. Share it on social media. I'd appreciate it if you got any questions or comments. And you may have some comments after today's podcast. You can call me. You can text me, area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. You can find me on Patriot Defense Facebook page. You can message me there. And until then, everyone have a good Thanksgiving. And I am going to eat some smoked turkey, I think.
Heck yeah. Do it.
My body's going to reject the meat, but I'm going to try it. You guys have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys hopefully this weekend. Bye.
Bye.